Is Rwanda's President Paul Kagame in danger of losing the international community's goodwill for a country still haunted by the ghosts of genocide? He's been accused of autocratic behaviour, of being unrealistic about the prospects for the economic transformation of Rwanda, and perhaps most damagingly, a recent United Nations report claims the Rwandan government is breaking UN sanctions by backing rebels in the neighbouring Democratic Republic of Congo. My guest today on Hard Talk is President Paul Kagame of Rwanda. Can he reclaim his reputation as a bold and visionary leader, or is he destined to go down as another African strongman who failed to live up to expectations? President Paul Kagame, welcome to Hard Talk.
Thank you.
You've been credited with trying to unite a divided country, make it more prosperous after the genocide of 1994. But truly you are now in danger of squandering the international community's goodwill, aren't you?
No, it doesn't make sense, because there is nothing that suggests on the ground, as a matter of fact, that there is any danger as to what Rwanda looks like or President Kagame looks like. Just the facts on the ground speak for themselves. I don't see where this story comes from.
I mean, but are you aware that you are a deeply polarizing person, that your admirers think very highly of you, and yet your critics are increasingly becoming more and more skeptical? You divide opinion.
Well, I start with where things must start first, and that is in Rwanda. What Rwandans think about the progress they are making in their lives, about how they are rebuilding their country, and so on. That's the starting point. So for the critics, they've been there right from the start. They don't acknowledge the progress that is being made in the country. For them, the situation is worse than it was 10, 15, 18 years ago. But for the real people who live the real life on the ground, the Rwandans, the millions of them, they see lives getting better every day.
But why do you think that you excite that kind of passion? What is it about Paul Kagame, do you think, that makes somebody like Tony Blair hail you as a bold and visionary leader and says that you are a good friend, and yet there are those who are give a completely different point of view?
Well,
what is it about you, do you think,
like
that gives rise to that?
Tony Blair or many other friends that have helped the country to be where it is today are genuine people who think through issues and question different things and come up with a good conclusion.
Tony Blair's been advising you on how to become less aid dependent, for instance.
That's right. Then, it is polarizing in a sense that there are people who have been connected with Rwanda's problems right from the beginning. Even in history, for many years, they have created these problems. These problems you saw relating to genocide and many others are not inherently Rwandan. They come from outside. So these are people who have been part of the problem, and they have always seen Rwanda with different eyes.
What do you mean, people from the outside? Do you mean former colonial powers? Or
well, you know, the whole history originated really from outside. When I say from outside, I mean you can think beyond even colonialism. Different structures that have operated from outside and not allowed Rwandans or Africans to deal with their own problems. This is where the problem starts.
That is a debate which is certainly worth having, and we've had it in various guises. But I actually want to put to you not criticisms from outsiders, but criticisms from insiders in Rwanda, people who fought alongside you when you were in the Rwandan Patriotic Front and tried to stop those who were perpetrating the violence, people who know you well and who now say, Paul Kagame, he's autocratic, he's, I mean, can I give you some names, for instance?
Zainab, you can give names, but...
Yeah, well, can I just say what it is, though? I'm talking about the Rwandan briefing.
I have heard this before, because you're going to tell me 10, 20, even if it is 20 names, and I'm talking about millions of Rwandans. So if you want to believe what 10, 15 people are talking about, and you don't believe what millions of Rwandans are saying. That's where the problem is. Look at the crisis all over the world. Whichever country you talk about, developed, developing, and otherwise, they have crises. They have scandals going on with leaders, with everybody. If you are going to take a country as it is and say, this country, because of this scandal by so-and-so who is a leader, this is how we must look at the country, then you will get things wrong.
Okay, well, I mean, I still put it to you, and I mean, as I said, nobody doubts that you have brought great economic success to Rwanda, and if you look at various indicators, economic indicators, you know, more children in school, you've tackling malaria, that kind of thing. But nevertheless, politically, there are very strong criticisms about you. In the 57-page Rwanda briefing from August 2010, you are described as a hardline, one-party, secretive police state, Rwanda that is, and that its people as a population are being held hostage to President Kagame's arbitrary and repressive rule. Person saying that is former Army Chief of Staff, General Nyamwasa, Colonel Patrick Karegeya, former Head of External Security, Gerald Gahima, former Prosecutor General, and Theodore Rudasingwa, former Rwandan Ambassador to Washington. That's, I mean, these are all people who are
Zainab, please, don't
your allies, former
allies. You're just recycling all the things that keep coming up. And I'm taking you back to the same problem. In this country, where we are sitting, you read every day newspapers talking about different things, about politicians, about business people, about things. Do you go and turn around and say this country is a mess because of these individuals?
But what do you say to these individuals? I mean, one of them
I'm saying this to you because the analysis seems to be based on wrong issues altogether. There is not a single country in this world. This is what I'm putting to you. There is not a single leader. There is not a single individual who is in a public office that has not come under attack or criticism of one kind of... Wait a minute.
Sure, I mean, that's a valid point.
But yes, but the way you choose to say, well, I believe this one, I will not...
No, I wasn't. I was putting it to you and I was asking your response. But General Nyamwasa...
I answered these things hundreds of times.
But it's worth doing it again now because the focus is very much on Rwanda. General Nyamwasa says he was shot in Johannesburg.
And for us in Rwanda, we are comfortable with what we are doing and what we have in terms of progress.
So these are just a few people who are critical of your leadership, no way indicative.
The facts are there for you to see. It depends on what you want to believe. You either go and believe what Nyamwasa is saying, and you don't want to see his own lack of accountability and issues relating to his own misconduct. And you don't want this again. I wasn't
portraying Nyamwasa as a model Democrat at all.
I think that's what.
No. I wasn't doing that.
When you raise it like that, it's like that's what somebody will repeat.
I was not in any way suggesting that he is a model Democrat, but he has been shot at in Johannesburg. He's now renewed his allegation.
If there is a case going on, why don't you wait for the case to go on?
There is a trial at the moment.
What do you want me to talk about the case?
Well, no, I was.
It's the case.
He's renewing the allegation that somehow you were involved in that shooting in when he was shot in Johannesburg.
What do you expect him to say?
Well, no, I'm just asking you for your response to it.
But he can't keep responding to everybody passing on the street with every rumor they come up.
What made them turn their opinion against you, though? These were people who were your allies. What is it, do you think?
My people are more important. The country people. They're now close to 12 million people. That's where I'm taking you back to. So you choose to single out somebody on the street spreading rumors or creating stories, or you choose to believe the millions of people of Rwanda. It's your call.
It's not one or the other. It's not one or the other, Mr. President. And as I said,
I have told you, we live in the same world. So don't treat Rwanda differently from the rest of the world. We live in the same world where there is no situation that everybody will praise and say for 100% that all people agree on it. Right. So if you are talking about Rwanda in that light, just look at it in the same context as you see the rest of the world. This is what I'm talking about.
But you've dismissed the criticisms from these former allies of yours, but now one of your biggest supporters, one of your biggest donors, the United States, its ambassador to the United Nations, Susan Rice. As you know, she was in Kigali in November 2011, and she has applauded your economic vitality, she says, which has moved the country forward. Social progress has been substantial, yet the political culture, she says, in Rwanda remains comparatively closed. Now, when a key ally like the US says that kind of thing, you have to sit up and take notice,
Yes,
don't
but
you?
United States or any other country don't manage Rwanda. Rwanda is managed by Rwandans. Listen to them.
But they do give you lots of... They're one of your biggest bilateral aid donors.
But that does not determine how we live our lives.
So what do you say to Susan
live
Rice?
their lives as they should live. Well, if you are talking about that, look at back just a little bit in history. Look at the failures of these friends. So now, on one day you want to believe what they are saying. On the other, I'm sure you, even if you don't want, the facts will also talk about it. This is why I'm telling you that Rwandans live their lives, right, and they determine how they live their lives. And so, I'm supposed to ensure that.
So it's not
somebody else will do that.
It's not a politically closed country then, because you have got people like the opposition leader Victoire Ingabire, who is on trial because she...
I wish I knew what you were going to...
No, but I'm just putting it to you. No, I mean...
Let's talk about things that matter to the lives of...
But this matters, doesn't it? Alice Muhirwa, National Treasurer of the Opposition United Democratic Force, says dissidents remain silent out of fear in Rwanda. What is your response when you hear that kind of criticism?
My response is that maybe you should take all your time or most of your time asking every leader of this world all these problems.
Well, I mean, we do put these points and criticisms to leaders and other politicians when we talk to them.
Along with
no, I wasn't being cynical. I was giving you a chance to rebut these allegations.
I'm telling you one thing. We've explained these so-called allegations. But, and I'm glad you're even putting it that way yourself. You're talking about all the progress that Rwandans are making in their lives. And then you put in but, and then you bring in one individual saying this or one individual, even out of context. If Victoire Ingabire is in a court of law to answer the charges leveled against her, what's wrong with that? What are the courts supposed to do? If there was no court, and there was a kangaroo court that tried her or she was punished without even hearing her what she has to say, but by the way, she's with many others. Also,
well, she said
singling her out. Then
no, I'm just saying. Well, she's being found guilty of genocide, promoting genocide, of violating a law that prohibits genocide.
How should I answer for that or explain that?
But she just said that the innocent majority Hutus who died alongside the Tutsis in the genocide should be honoured as well.
But then you should be asking me every case that has been handled by the court in Rwanda, because Ngabire's life is not more important than the lives of other Rwandans. It doesn't look good,
though, does it, Mr. President, when you have lots of criticisms?
Because if it doesn't look good to you who do not understand the problems of Rwanda, yet Rwanda is making good progress and Rwandans are holding each other and ourselves accountable, then that is...
We'll talk about the economy. We'll talk about the economy in a while, and as I said, that you have been totally applauded for your efforts for improving agriculture output and that kind of thing.
That will have to continue. There is nothing that is going to derail that.
Undoubtedly, everybody says that it is a big economic success story, fantastic rates of growth for the past few years and so on.
Yes,
but it's the politics I was trying to pick you up on.
Yeah, but even the politics. You see, if the politics were wrong, the agriculture would not be right. This is what I will also tell you, because agriculture involves Rwandans. These are Rwandans doing the agriculture, feeding themselves, doing everything. So it's politics behind it, driving it.
Okay, now, of course, you're facing huge allegations now, renewed ones, about your activities, or your alleged activities in the neighbouring Democratic Republic of Congo. A United Nations report earlier this year says that the Rwandan government is backing a rebel movement in the Democratic Republic of Congo called the M23, led by Bosco Ntaganda, a former Congolese general. What is your response, Mr. President, to these very serious allegations?
My response is that we are not connected at all with the cause of the uprising of M23, as you are talking about. We are not supporting them. We do not intend to, because we don't know what they are about or what they want. We are not even involved at all, and it wouldn't make sense, because for us, our relationship with the Congo, before all this thing happened, was actually very good. And we were working together to eliminate the problem that has existed between the two countries. Again, working together with the Congolese, some people are not happy about that. They were actually trying to undermine it. And then all of a sudden, because of the problems of Congo, this issue came up. it is more of an internal problem of Congo and the failure thereof in terms of governance and how to resolve their own problems that has created this issue.
There's no question that the DRC has got huge problems, you're absolutely right, but nevertheless, this group of experts on the Democratic Republic of Congo who put together